You're with David House of Saving Health Ministries, and there's a prophecy that we have been discussing for many years in regards to Joe Biden being arrested. And whenever God gives a prophecy, it is our duty to see and watch for how that prophecy will fulfill. And considering that we are seeing some corruption from the current administration, I think it is appropriate to address that. So I want you to see this short video from Fox in regards to Biden, who is currently selling parts of the border wall right before Trump comes into office.
And the administration is trying to sell it for 5 cents on the dollar, knowing that we're getting ready to put it up. And what they're doing is really an act. It's almost a criminal act. They know we're going to use it, and if we don't have it, we're going to have to rebuild it, and it'll cost double what it cost years ago, and that's hundreds of millions of dollars, because you're talking about a lot of wall. I built much more than I said I was going to build, but then after it was built, I said, you know, we can do some more, because it's sort of like water, people flow through, and that will pretty much really take care of it. And what happened is they just, as you see, they're trying to sell it for 5 cents on the dollar. And that's really, that has nothing to do with a smooth transition. That has to do with people really trying to stop our nation. And all it means really is that we're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars more, not even talking about the time. Time would be pretty long, but we'll spend hundreds of millions of dollars more on building the same wall that we already have. And people have already come back to us that have deals at 5 cents and 4 cents, and one guy at 3 cents on the dollar, and they offered to sell it back to us at more money than it costs us to build substantially. Can you believe it? So they make a deal with the United States to buy it for pennies, and then they call us and they say, do you want to buy it back? We'll sell it back to you for hundreds of dollars a foot. Hundreds of dollars, from pennies to hundreds of dollars a foot. And we can't let this take place. Now we're going to go. I spoke with the Attorney General of Texas. I spoke to the senators of Texas. I spoke to a lot of people, and hopefully they'll be able to stop. We're going to be, having a restraining order. But just think about how ridiculous it is. And this is just people that don't want this country to succeed. And this has nothing to do with Democrat or Republican. This has to do with common sense. We won on common sense, and this is maybe one of the most egregious examples I've seen. So the people that are buying it or trying to buy it are trying to make a deal with us to sell it back at hundreds of times more than we paid. And this is all because the Democrats. So I'm asking today Joe Biden to please stop selling the wall. We're going to use that to create a strong barrier, and it worked. That's why our numbers were so good. It really worked, and it worked well, and it's very expensive to do. And I'm asking Joe Biden to stop his people from giving it away. It's something that people can't even believe is happening.
So now that you saw the video of Biden selling the parts right before Trump comes into office, it makes it very clear that he is seeking to make things very difficult for the incoming Trump administration. Not to mention, he gave Ukraine the green light to use U.S. long-range missiles, again, escalating the situation between Ukraine, Russia, and America. Meanwhile, he pardons his son, whom he said he would not pardon, showing again more corruption. And then you have him pardoning Chinese spies who were guilty of certain images, and also tech spies who were stealing American tech secrets. So this is very questionable behavior for someone who is the president of America, showing connections to foreign countries. Meanwhile, your son has been accused of receiving foreign funds while you were vice president. And while we're discussing foreign funds, notice this article here. It says, New York City Mayor Eric Adams charged with taking bribes and illegal campaign funds from foreign sources. So again, we're seeing the political corruption that was prophesied by Ellen White, and also we saw the prophecy given by the young prophet in Uganda regarding a Biden being arrested. And again, this was a Seventh-day Adventist preacher. Meanwhile, I'd like to come back to the Eric Adams situation because notice here from Fox News, it says, Trump predicted New York City Mayor Adams would be indicted last year, blames dirty players in Department of Justice. The mayor was indicted on Wednesday on charges revolving around campaign contributions. So we're seeing the political corruption is rampant. And I want you to see that this was prophesied by Ellen White. Notice this statement from her pen. And again, this confirms she is a true prophetess, a true inspired messenger of God. And this quotation from Ellen White is taken from Great Controversy, page 592. It says, the dignitaries of church and state will unite to bribe, persuade, or compel all classes to honor the Sunday. Talking about Sunday rest. Then it says, the lack of divine authority will be supplied by oppressive enactments. Political corruption is destroying love of justice and regard for truth, and even in free America, rulers and legislators, in order to secure public favor, will yield to the popular demand for a law enforcing Sunday observance. Liberty of conscience, which has cost so great a sacrifice, will no longer be respected. In the soon coming conflict, we shall see exemplified the prophet's words. The dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. What is the testimony of Jesus? It is the spirit of prophecy, according to Revelation 19 and verse 10. Therefore, the two identifying marks for God's last day church is they keep all the commandments, including God's seventh-day Sabbath, which is the fourth commandment, which we refer to as Saturday, Friday sundown until Saturday sundown, and the prophetic gift. These are the two identifying marks for who God will seal when probation closes, when the mark of the beast is at a crisis. So understand, Ellen White prophesied the political corruption that we are seeing. Now, keep in mind, though the major union of church and state we see through the right side of the political arena with President Trump and evangelicals and Project 2025, meanwhile, she will replace Joe Biden very soon. And just recently, Biden spoke to this. Notice what he said. And this is from Newsweek, and it was just released today. It says, Joe Biden tells Kamala Harris, you're not going anywhere after loss. Notice the clip.
She always served this country with purpose and integrity, and she always will. And you're not going anywhere, kid, because we're not going to let you go. Not going anywhere.
So Joe Biden made it very clear that Kamala is not going anywhere. Does he mean that she's about to replace him? Or does he mean that the Democrats are about to do something to maintain control of the White House? Let me know in the comments below what you think Biden meant by stating you're not going anywhere. And also, let me know in the comments, what crime do you believe that Biden will be charged for that will cause him to be arrested? God's word will shortly come to pass.